Aaron Wirtz, and tonight I'll be talking about something I'm passionate about, which are coincidences. A coincidence is defined as a remarkable concurrence of circumstances without apparent causal connection. And we can all think of those coincidences, and it's something that makes us think about what are the odds of that happening, as if there were some sort of cosmic bookmaker determining the likelihood of these unlikely situations and scenarios and testing our ability to perceive. What are the odds? Now, instead of thinking about what does this mean or who is trying to tell me something, instead I rather write them down. I don't judge them when a coincidence occurs to me as a coincidence. I simply just write it down. And it's become something that has really woven a thread through the course of my life. And at the end of the year, every year, I read that list of coincidences to some friends and family, and it really becomes enjoyable because those are moments that I might have otherwise forgotten about, and there's something about writing them down that takes me back to that exact moment. Now, some of those coincidences are seemingly frivolous. They're light. Oftentimes they relate to things that happen in movies, that happen in song lyrics, maybe faces, smiles, signs that you see driving down the road. Things that you say, eh. So, for instance, in the movie The Cutter, starring Chuck Norris, a major plot point is an artifact called the Breastplate of Aaron. Well, my stage name for my electronic music show is Cutter J the Absurdist, so in The Cutter, the Breastplate of Aaron is featured. I thought that was, I guess that's a coincidence. Now, for a commercial to make a pair of nunchucks out of a couple of novelty carrots, I ordered some from Amazon, and as I was opening this Amazon box, Amy Adams on the movie Leap Year, right at that moment, I promise you, said, the recipe calls for 2 carrots. Now, sometimes coincidences seem to be a little bit more significant, and they really make you stop and wonder, is someone, in fact, trying to tell me something? So, for instance, on the day that my acceptance letter to the MFA program in creative writing at Wichita State was written, I was celebrating a year sober from drugs and alcohol. And so I was excited. It was kind of one of those things that was a nice thing, right? And on vacation in the Philippines, we rode a boat called the Spirit of Norway, and the boatman had a shirt that said West Virginia University. My grandmother is 100% Norwegian, and my grandfather was a professor at West Virginia University. Interesting. We recently had a daughter, and we named her Celeste. Now, MIDI control change number 94 is also known as Celeste. MIDI is the language that keyboards use to talk to computers and synthesizers in electronic music, of which I am a fan. Here's another one. At Barbara's bookstore at O'Hare Airport, I was looking at a book called Entrepreneurial Strengths Finder and thinking about my dream of starting an electronic music academy where I would teach synthesizer fundamentals. And so there I was looking at this book, and I woke up out of this entrepreneurial vision and heard the clerk saying something like, well, you can program a synthesizer to sound like just about anything that you want it to sound like. And I thought, now isn't that interesting? Now, sometimes coincidences go from not just being light and not just being more than light to being meaningful. Sometimes they hit you right between the eyes, and there are those coincidences that to this day I still think about. And I'll tell you about one. This is a man named Larry who I made a video of about his 1986 Subaru Brat, which he was very proud of. A couple months later, a woman came into the dealership to tell me that Larry had unfortunately passed away, and she thanked me for making that video because that's something that they used at his funeral. But that's not all. About a year later, Larry's mother came in to give me this thank you note. It says, little did we know we would lose Larry in a few weeks. You gave this family something we can watch and hear Larry's voice whenever we need to. Thank you for this gift. And on the exact day that Larry's mother gave me that thank you note for making that video, City Arts held a memorial for our friend Brian McManus, who had passed away before his time, who also taught my wife how to make video. Something to think about. And so, what I choose to believe is not that there is some sort of cosmic bookmaker that determines the likelihood of these events and sets these situations up for me to go through. I'm not religious. I'm actually an atheist. And so I choose not to assign any sort of cosmic significance about these coincidences. Instead, what I see them as are cracks in the ceiling of my understanding, a reminder that my consciousness is not aware of everything that happens around me. Either that or those cracks, what I seem to think are cracks, are actually strands of web that connect us all together, to everything, to everyone. So, now it's your turn. When a coincidence it strikes you as a coincidence, I challenge you to simply write it down. Keep a list. And at the end of the year, you will have a powerful document, a powerful reminder of how important these moments actually are. Thank you.